Hey, what's up guys? It's Jonathan and welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk to you about what I think is the most slept on, underrated phone of 2017, the LG V30. To kick it off, the V30 is actually a beautiful phone. It's nearly bezel-less, which is the trend for 2017. And I gotta say, the bezel-less design on the V30 beats a lot of the other phones on the market, including like the Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus and even the Note 8. In my personal opinion, the LG V30 has a much better form factor just because it doesn't have the edge display or the edge design. So it's easier to hold, it's easier to operate with one hand, and overall, it's just a very pleasing feeling whenever you're holding it and using it. Of course, another trend of 2017 is glass on the front and glass on the back, and of course the V30 does have that. There's no need to get into detail about it, and if you want to prevent the scratches and the smudges and the smears, well, you could do what I did and slap on a colorless skin like the one that you see here, which is absolutely gorgeous in my personal opinion. Leave the link down below. Go ahead and head over to the site and find one for yourself and customize it and throw it on your V30 or any other device. So unlike a lot of other smartphone manufacturers, LG chose to keep the headphone jack, and they did it for a reason, because the quad DAC built inside this thing is amazing. Like the V20, the V30 does not have a swappable battery, but LG did keep the SD card slot, and you can expand it up to 256 gigs of storage, which is fantastic. So if you like to take a lot of pictures or you like to do a lot of smartphone video, this phone is going to give you pretty much everything that you need, including some really awesome and amazing unique video capabilities, which I'm gonna cover later on in the video. So make sure you stay tuned. LG V30 actually is a pretty durable phone. Now we all know glass is going to shatter, so it doesn't matter if you drop it from 5 feet or if you drop it from 3 feet, if it lands just right, the glass is gonna shatter. So if you don't mind putting a case on your phone, I definitely suggest going that route. Metal on the sides is like a stainless steel, so it definitely is a little bit softer than a typical metal, and it's going to scratch. You could always buff it out if you choose to do so, but just keep that in mind that it's very soft and you are gonna get marks on it. I do have a mark on one of my V30s, and it's right around where the headphone jack is. I'm not really sure how that happened, to be honest. I haven't dropped the phone, but it's there, so I don't know. Outside of it being military compliant, it also has an IP68 rating, making it dust and water resistant. So yeah, if you like to take your phone in the pool or in the shower with you, or if you drop it in the toilet, it's gonna be all right. If you drop it on the floor and crack the back and then drop it in the water, well, you might be in trouble. So the display on the V30 to me is fantastic. It's a POLED display, it looks great, it does have some color shifting going on, but in terms of just vibrancy and sharpness, it's amazing. I love looking at this display and consuming media on it, whether it's playing games or watching movies or watching YouTube videos, whatever it is I'm doing and I'm using the display, it's just an enjoyable experience. Now, quick fact is, this is the same panel that's found on the Pixel 2 XL, but it's tuned differently, and it doesn't have that thick polarizer on it that is actually causing the graininess on the Pixel 2 XL. So if you're worried, have no worries. The display on the V30 is night and day better than the one found on the Pixel 2 XL. Another thing to mention is burn-in. Burn-in is a normal characteristic, again, of OLED displays. It's going to happen, it is present, don't be alarmed. Hasn't happened for me yet, but then again, I'm also switching phones routinely. As a normal user, you're probably gonna experience it way earlier on, but just keep that in the back of your mind that it is a normal characteristic of OLED displays, and yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Jumping off the negative Nancy train and going to support HDR10 and Dolby Vision HDR content. So if you like to jam out on some Netflix, you're gonna be able to get the highest quality Netflix video on your V30. And I don't know, the experience is great. The only thing that's holding it back is a speaker in terms of media consumption, which is the same thing that I said about the Note 8. I just wish they would improve the speaker design. I'm jumping into the software side of things. One thing that's weird is that the V30 did not ship with the latest version of Android. Last year, the V20 shipped with the latest version of Android. This year, it did not. It's still running 7.0, and yeah, I don't know, I don't really like that. LG skin on top of Android is my least favorite, mainly because of the cosmetic nature of it. Has nothing to do with the features or how well it runs. It just, to me, it's ugly. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's a very ugly skin. It's great, it's very smooth, it's very fluid, has tons of customization options, And the new floating bar feature is actually really unique. So unlike the V10 and the V20 where you had that secondary display to give you useful information like your notifications or quick launch applications, instead you have a floating bar this time around, which is cool. I mean, you can disable it in the settings or you can keep it enabled, and it almost does the same thing minus the notifications. It does give you some quick actions, including shortcuts to apps or on the fly. So it's useful in a way. I didn't really use it, but if you like that type of thing, it is there. Just like in the past, you have tons of multitasking features like running apps at the same time, just on top of each other so you can bounce back and forth, get your multitasking game on. And if you combine that with the 4 gigs of RAM, the Snapdragon 835, your experience is gonna be great. It's gonna be good. Moving straight into battery life on the V30 has been pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's the best because it's not, but the 3300 milliamp hour battery that is on board the V30 does pack a ton of punch, getting me anywhere between 4 to 5 hours of screen on time daily, which to me is sufficient to get me through a full day. Does feature Quick Charge 3.0, so if you start to run low in the middle of the day, you can just, put your phone on the charger real quick using that quick charge option, and it's gonna give you some juice to get you through the remainder of the day. In terms of cameras, you have dual cameras on the back. So you have a 13 megapixel camera and you have a 16 megapixel camera. What makes them unique is the fact that the 13 megapixel camera actually has or had the lowest aperture on any phone. Now, of course, this video is a little bit late, so there is another phone or two that has the same aperture. So it's not really super unique anymore, but it was one of the first phones, if not the first phone, to feature the f1.6 aperture on their primary camera. And then in terms of the secondary camera, which is the wide angle, it's f1.9, and that's still really awesome. Quality of the V30 cameras is really good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's the best anymore, but it's a really, really good camera. You're not gonna be disappointed by any means. A lot of people raised hell with me and gave me a ton of crap about how I had a pre-production unit and I shouldn't have put it against the iPhone camera because it's pre-production. Well, I have 2 models here. I still have my pre-production model, which is right there. And then I have a final production unit, which is right here. And here are some sample images. You guys tell me, do you see a difference? I don't see a difference. I don't see a difference between the production unit and the pre-production unit because there isn't none. There's not. There's no difference. They might have done some things in the software to make it run a little bit better or to make the log format and video mode run a little better or Graphi run a little better, but in terms of overall image quality and image processing, it's the same. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Speaking of those 2 features, yes, the V30 does feature video log, and it's like a video log gamma format to give you HDR video. It works really well. Not really big into it because it just takes too much time. Typically when it comes to a smartphone camera, I just want to be able to pull it out, snap a picture, and keep it moving because usually I'm doing it of a loved one or it's just a moment that I have to capture right then and there, and I don't have time to dial in the ISO settings or adjust the exposure and white balance for log. But one thing about the log that kind of sets it back a little bit is the bit rate. From just what I saw messing around with it and using it and trying to get the best, possible results I could get, the bit rate is around like 40 or 50, 56 megabits per second, which is not good for a log specific video. Back off of the log format real quick. You do have in-camera or in-phone LUTs that you can use that are very cinematic for different scenes and different environmental types. Depending on the look that you're going for, you might have a LUT in there. The other feature is Graphi. Graphi is a feature that I don't think is looked at enough. If you like to take a bunch of pictures and you want to explore the avenues of professional smartphone photography, Graphi is going to allow you to do that and give you some helpful tips and show you how to properly expose your image based upon the scenario that you're in. So if you're in an indoor environment and you're looking out of a window and you load up Graphi, Graphi is going to have a scene that is very similar to the scene that you're in. You pick that and it's going to properly expose and do everything for you, and it will tell you how it did that. That way it gives you useful advice and tips to take the perfect image. Still have all the manual controls that you've grown to love over the years from LG and their V lineup, whether it's photo or video. The wide angle looks great. You do have that wobble when it comes to the stabilization, but overall, I think the quality of the cameras are great. The front-facing camera is still the 5 megapixels, and I don't know, it's pretty bad. Like, I don't really have nothing good to say about the front-facing camera of the V30. It's not horrendous. It's not the worst that I've ever seen, but they could do better. One thing that's really cool though about the front-facing camera on the V30 is you have your standard mode and then you have your wide angle mode, which gives you a little bit more flexibility when it comes to taking your selfies. But as I said, the beauty mode is just too aggressive. It really smooths out your skin, and if you turn it off, it still does some funky stuff with your skin, and it overexposes a lot, which I guess if you like to take a bunch of selfies and that's your thing, that's typically what you do. Like, that's how the beauty videos are made. But to me, it just looks atrocious. I don't like it. You might like it. I don't know. I don't like the V30 front-facing camera. Can't do it. Let me wrap this up by saying the V30 is a very, very powerful phone. And if there's any phone on the market that I personally feel deserves an $800 price tag, it is the V30. It has so many awesome features that really are aimed at a very niche market. I mean, how many people are really gonna use a quad DAC? I understand that, not too many people, but the people that do use the quad DAC are going to appreciate the one in the V30 more because it's really good and it just justifies that price point a little bit more. A little bit more, especially than something like the iPhone 10, which, oh God, no. Even the Note 8 is a very expensive phone, but it packs a ton of capabilities and features for that niche market that justify that price point. And that's what I feel LG has done with the V30, and that is why I personally feel the LG V30 is the most slept on phone of 2017, and if you got the money and you like the features that it offers, go for it. You're not gonna be disappointed. It's a great phone. In fact, I love this phone. Every time I pick it up and start using it again, I just fall in love with the form factor, the screen, and all of the features that it offers. And to me, this is one of my top 3 recommendations, easy, of 2017. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smack that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you are subscribed, turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when that content drops. If you have any questions, leave them down below in a comment, and I will try to respond in a timely manner. Otherwise, hit me up on social. There are social giveaways going on, so make sure you check those out, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Be easy.